Sally Field has spent more than 6 decades in Hollywood, captivating audiences with her unforgettable performances in Forrest Gump, Steel Magnolias, and Norma Ray. Her talent is undeniable, her career legendary, and her charm irresistible. But beneath her radiant smile and remarkable achievements, there's a deeply personal story, one of love, heartbreak, and regret. Now at 78, Sally has opened up about the greatest love of her life in an emotional confession that has left fans stunned. After years of keeping her most intimate feelings private, she's finally revealed the truth about a love that shaped her, haunted her, and, in many ways, defined her journey. So who was the love of Sally Field's life? And why did it take her so long to share the heartbreaking truth? Let's dive into the story of love and loss that has remained hidden for decades. The love story that almost was. Sally Field and Burt Reynolds. Sally Field and Burt Reynolds were once one of Hollywood's most talked about couples. Their undeniable chemistry on screen in Smokey and the Bandit was just as intense off screen. But what most people didn't know was that their relationship was anything but a fairy tale. Their love affair began in the late 1970s when Reynolds, already a huge star, was at the peak of his fame. He was charming, confident, and deeply in love with Sally. She, on the other hand, was more reserved, wary of the limelight, and struggling with self-doubt. Despite their differences, they couldn't stay away from each other. For nearly 5 years, they were inseparable, appearing in films together, traveling the world, and becoming one of Hollywood's most glamorous couples. But behind closed doors, things were far more complicated. Burt was known for his larger-than-life personality, but with that came controlling tendencies. Sally, who had spent much of her life seeking approval, found herself trapped in a relationship that was both intoxicating and emotionally exhausting. She later admitted that she felt like she was constantly trying to keep up with his expectations, sacrificing her own needs in the process. And despite their deep love for each other, the relationship ultimately crumbled. Why she kept silent for so long, for years, Sally Field refused to talk about her relationship with Burt Reynolds. She dodged questions in interviews, kept her feelings private, and moved forward with her life without ever publicly reflecting on their time together. But in 2018, after Burt Reynolds' passing, everything changed. In a rare moment of vulnerability, she opened up about their relationship in her memoir, In Pieces, revealing the heartbreaking truth about their love. She described Burt as the most important relationship of her life, but also admitted that it was filled with pain, manipulation, and a sense of never truly being free. She confessed that he was emotionally controlling, often making her feel like she wasn't enough. But at the same time, she recognized that their love was real, even if it was flawed. Her decision to speak out wasn't about blaming him. It was about finally allowing herself to acknowledge the emotional impact of their time together. After decades of silence, she was finally ready to heal. Burt Reynolds' regret, his heartfelt words, before he passed. While Sally spent years coming to terms with their relationship, Burt Reynolds never let go of his love for her. In the years before his death, he spoke openly about his regret over losing her. In one of his final interviews, Reynolds called Sally the love of my life and admitted that he had made mistakes. He regretted not holding on to her, saying that she was the one woman who truly understood him. He confessed that his own insecurities and controlling nature had pushed her away, and that he had spent years wishing he could take it all back. Hearing those words years later, Sally Field was deeply moved. She acknowledged that despite the pain, their love had been real. And though it had ended, it had shaped both of their lives in ways they could never have imagined. The heartbreak that followed. Sally's struggles with love. After her relationship with Burt Reynolds ended, Sally Field faced a long and difficult road when it came to love. While she eventually married twice, first to her high school sweetheart, Stephen Craig, and later to film producer Alan Greisman, neither marriage lasted. Her first marriage, which produced 2 sons, ended in divorce in 1975. And while her second marriage seemed promising, it too ended in heartbreak in 1994. Despite her outward success, Sally struggled with deep-seated insecurities and emotional wounds from her past relationships. She often felt like she wasn't good enough, a feeling that had been reinforced by both Hollywood and the men in her life. For years, she focused on raising her children and building her career, putting love on the back burner. But even as time passed, the shadow of her relationship with Burt Reynolds lingered. The unspoken truth, why she never reunited with Burt. Many fans have wondered why Sally Field and Burt Reynolds never rekindled their romance later in life. After all, they had shared an undeniable connection, and Burt had expressed his regret over losing her. But Sally made it clear she had no interest in going back. In her memoir, she revealed that as much as she had loved him, she had also suffered in their relationship. And by the time she had finally found her voice, she realized that she needed to prioritize her own happiness. Burt Reynolds may have been the love of her life, but she knew that love wasn't always enough. And as much as she cherished their memories, she understood that some relationships are meant to stay in the past. Finding peace and self-love at 78. Now at 78, Sally Field is finally at peace with her past. She has built a legacy as one of the most respected actresses of her generation, earning 2 Academy Awards and the admiration of fans worldwide. But more importantly, she has learned to love herself. For years, she struggled with self-worth, constantly seeking validation from others. But today, she no longer feels the need to prove anything to anyone. She has embraced aging, rejected Hollywood's unrealistic beauty standards, and found joy in the simple things: her family, her passions, and her own personal growth. She has also become an advocate for mental health, openly discussing her struggles with anxiety and self-doubt in the hopes of helping others. And while she may never have found a lasting romantic love, she has found something even more valuable: inner peace. How Sally's confession resonated with fans. When Sally Field finally opened up about her relationship with Burt Reynolds, fans were deeply moved. Many had admired their on-screen chemistry and believed they were a perfect couple. But her confession revealed a much more complicated reality, one that resonated with countless people who had experienced similar relationships. For decades, Sally had been seen as America's sweetheart, a strong yet relatable woman who had captured the hearts of audiences worldwide. But behind that persona was a woman who had struggled with self-worth and had been deeply affected by the dynamics of her relationship with Burt. After her memoir was released, fans flooded social media with messages of support, sharing their own stories of love, regret, and healing. Many praised Sally for her honesty, saying that her story had helped them find closure in their own lives. Some even speculated that if Burt Reynolds had still been alive, he would have reached out to her after reading her words. While we'll never know for sure, one thing is clear: Sally's confession was not just about looking back on her past, but about finally freeing herself from it. Sally Field's legacy: love beyond romance. While romance played a significant role in Sally Field's life, it was not the defining factor of her legacy. Today, she is remembered not just for her relationships, but for her incredible talent, her resilience, and her dedication to important causes. In addition to her acting career, Sally has been a passionate advocate for women's rights, LGBTQ+ rights, and osteoporosis awareness. After being diagnosed with the condition herself, she has used her platform to raise awareness about these issues, proving that her impact goes far beyond Hollywood. She has also found profound love outside of romantic relationships, through her children, grandchildren, and the close friendships she has built over the years. While she may not have ended up with a traditional love story, she has embraced the many forms of love that exist in her life. At 78, Sally Field is living proof that life doesn't have to be defined by past regrets. Instead, it can be about growth, self-acceptance, and finding happiness in unexpected places. And in the end, that might just be the greatest love story of all. Sally Field's confession about the love of her life is both heartbreaking and inspiring. It's a reminder that love isn't always easy, and that sometimes the hardest thing to do is walk away from someone we deeply care about. But it's also a testament to the power of resilience. Sally Field has faced love, loss, regret, and redemption, yet she has emerged stronger than ever. What do you think of Sally's story? Were you surprised by her emotional confession? Let us know in the comments, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more fascinating stories about Hollywood's biggest stars.